think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If he's not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Mike Tyson voiced serious concern for Canelo Alvarez's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be devastating. He pointed out that in past fights, Canelo often neglected his jab, allowing opponents to gain confidence in close distance. Tyson stressed that this time, Canelo must rely on his jab with precision and consistency to control range, slow Crawford's rhythm, and stop him from building dangerous momentum.
He's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right in him, like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas acknowledged Canelo Alvarez's extraordinary resume, forged across multiple divisions against elite opposition. By comparison, Terence Crawford hasn't faced as many household names. Still, Atlas argued that greatness isn't always measured by the number of big names on a record, but by the quality of skill and adaptability shown in the ring. He believes Crawford's mastery of timing, angles, and ring control will allow him to offset Canelo's physical advantages. For Atlas, Crawford's calm demeanor and ability to make mid-fight adjustments could be the key to defeating one of boxing's most experienced champions.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo stretch far beyond the outcome itself. Crawford is moving up 2 weight classes, a daring leap that raises the pressure squarely on Canelo. A loss under these circumstances would be damaging, suggesting that despite his size, power, and experience, he couldn't handle a naturally smaller fighter. Such an outcome would cast doubt on his current standing among the sport's elite and tarnish his legacy as one of the best pound-for-pound boxers of his era. That's why this fight represents enormous risk for Canelo before the opening bell even rings.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez spoke with conviction about Terence Crawford's place at the very top of the sport. He described Crawford as operating on a higher level of technical mastery and mental sharpness than most fighters today. Benavidez praised his ability to switch stances seamlessly, remain composed under pressure, and dictate the pace regardless of an opponent's style. For him, Crawford's advantage lies not only in his physical talent but in his fight IQ and intelligence that allows him to systematically break down even the most seasoned champions.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I don't Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Jeff Mayweather highlighted the precision and adaptability that have defined Terence Crawford's career, pointing out his unmatched ability to read opponents and adjust strategy mid-fight. While giving Crawford the edge in pure technical skill, Jeff cautioned that Canelo Alvarez's power and experience cannot be overlooked. Time and again, Canelo has shown the ability to shift momentum with a single punch and to thrive under the pressure of big nights. Mayweather warned that dismissing Canelo's ability to adapt and exploit openings would be a grave mistake for Crawford or anyone who shares the ring with him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I give him, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's breakdown zeroed in on the jab as the pivotal weapon in this matchup. He noted that Crawford's jab is one of the most accurate and efficient in boxing today, allowing him to control distance, disrupt rhythm, and set up punishing combinations. This mastery of the lead hand has been central to his dominance. In contrast, Kellerman observed that Canelo's jab, once a reliable tool to neutralize aggression, has become less frequent and less consistent in recent years. That decline, he argued, could leave Canelo vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined and relentless use of the jab.
Give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell highlighted the cultural and stylistic contrasts that define this matchup. He noted that Canelo Alvarez embodies the classic Mexican fighting style, measured pressure, relentless bodywork, and sharp counterpunching. By contrast, Terence Crawford represents the fluid rhythm, adaptability, and defensive awareness long associated with African-American boxing traditions. According to Russell, this clash of styles will create a fascinating dynamic, with each fighter trying to impose his rhythm while dismantling the other's strengths.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from beam to beam from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia openly voiced his support for Terence Crawford in this high-stakes showdown. He praised Crawford's discipline, work ethic, and dedication to the fundamentals of boxing, calling him a model of consistency and professionalism. Garcia believes Crawford's success highlights the importance of technical mastery and ring IQ in the modern sport. While he respects Canelo Alvarez's achievements, Garcia admits he is personally rooting for Crawford to come out on top.
You know, I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you gotta be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's promotion, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford, he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones applauded Crawford's meticulous preparation, noting that he hasn't taken shortcuts in moving up 2 weight classes. Instead of bulking recklessly and sacrificing his trademark speed, Crawford has followed a carefully designed program of nutrition and conditioning to add weight strategically. This approach allows him to maintain agility while building the durability needed against a naturally bigger fighter like Canelo. Jones believes this methodical preparation maximizes Crawford's chances of success while minimizing the risks of size disparity.
And like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or you know, his skill set. And it, you know, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, you know, it's a win-win.
So you don't think Crawford, you know, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. You know, the nutrition, the you know, like I said, the training. You know, Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, you know, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yeah.
Super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi echoed that sentiment, praising Crawford for striking the perfect balance in his physical development. He pointed out that Crawford has added the muscle mass necessary to withstand Canelo's power, yet hasn't lost the quickness and reflexes that make his counters so dangerous. Malignaggi credited Crawford's disciplined training camp, from diet to sparring tactics, for fine-tuning every detail. In his view, this preparation could be the difference between Crawford imposing his style or being forced into Canelo's fight.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, you know, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you know, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, you know, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Stephen Breadman Edwards emphasized that movement is the foundation of Crawford's success. He explained that Crawford's ability to control distance forces opponents into awkward positions, making them miss and leaving them open to counters. Combined with elite conditioning, this allows Crawford to keep a high pace for all 12 rounds. Edwards believes this movement will be key to neutralizing Canelo's pressure and preventing him from pinning Crawford against the ropes. Just as importantly, he noted Crawford's mental toughness, the ability to remain calm and composed under fire.
He slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller, he's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lead fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, you know, when the guy is running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of it.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against William Skull has raised red flags. Analysts noted his lower punch output, reduced urgency, and a lack of the sharpness that once defined his prime. Instead of dictating the pace, Canelo often reacted to Skull's offense, allowing him more success than expected. This hesitance has fueled concerns about whether Canelo still possesses the stamina and precision to dominate elite-level opponents over 12 rounds. If those flaws persist, critics warn that a versatile fighter like Crawford could expose them.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, he'll be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Han Porter and several analysts agree that for Crawford to win, the key lies in controlling distance and exploiting angles. By constantly shifting position and forcing Canelo to reset, Crawford can sap his opponent's rhythm and wear him down mentally as well as physically. Porter stressed that discipline will be just as important as athleticism. The fighter who sticks to his game plan, remains composed, and stays consistent from the opening bell to the final round will most likely have his hand raised.
And that, so I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner, they have the presser in Riyadh, they have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, you know, that is not Canelo, what he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. You know, he slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting a knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, and you know, but you know, I don't want to get too deep into it today, but you know my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, breakdowns, and fight analysis. Until next time.